This is the third video out of 3 for this chapter 3 on queries. The third chapter I'll basically be covering the hands-on exercise 3, page 215. Mostly this is about aggregate functions and a totals query. So I'm going to start out with aggregate functions. Let me just open up this mortgage payment query that we created. And you can see some of the fields here, payments, price per square foot. If you wanted to total any of these rows, you could do that or get an average on any of these fields. Those are the two most common aggregate functions. Let me show you how you would do this. Okay. This query is now, it has run. This is the query results or data sheet view, however you want to think of that. But you go up to the top in the ribbon area, make sure you're on the Home tab, click the Totals button, and you'll see a Totals row at the bottom of the data. When you put your cursor in there, you'll get a drop-down list, and then you can pick from these aggregate functions. These are common functions that a lot of times in business that you want to do. Summing means just to get a total of this column. Average gets an average, of course. And then a count just says how many records in this result have a value in this field. In this case, all of them would, so it would be the same as the number of records. There's a maximum and a minimum, so if you wanted to know the maximum value in the square feet and the minimum, you could do that. Standard deviation and variance we don't really use much in business programming, so I won't talk about those. But in this case, I'm going to get a average of the square feet, and you can see that shows up there. Again, you may have to make the column bigger in order for the value to show up there. Here I think I did, this is a maximum. So you get a maximum value on a column, and you get a total and all kinds of good stuff. So that's aggregate functions in datasheet view. I'm going to close this now. Save these changes. I want to show you what a totals query is. A totals query is set up in design view, and I'm going to create a new query to show you this. So I'm going to click on the Create tab, Query Design, and I'm going to use the list table, the properties table, and the subdivision table. I'll close this. Let's say I want to get an average of the sale price for different listings, or where these properties are listed at, in other words. So this name of list field, I'm going to move down here. The sale price, actually I want, not the sale price, I want the list price. Okay, I got my two fields. I said I want to get an average of the list price. I think I said sales price before, but we're going to get an average of the list price, because not all of these properties have sold, so the sale price field would be blank in some of these. Here's the name of where the listing is posted at, whether it's a website or the MLS. Okay, to get a totals query in design view here, you go up to the ribbon up near the upper right, click on the big totals button, and you'll notice this totals row shows up. It's always going to say group by until you change it. So the field that you want to group by, which is the name of the listing in this case, goes first over here on the left. And then here we want to get an average of the list price. So we click right on this group by, the down arrow, we choose the aggregate function, average, and now we can run this. Again, I should have formatted that. Let me go back to design view. I'm going to format this. Open up the property sheet. Okay, now I can run it. And here's my average of list price. You can see that here. By where the listing is, or where the property is listed at, so the name of the listing. MLS, the average price was $118. Philly houses, $120,000, and so on. can see the average. This may give the person analyzing this data a little better idea of, they can say, oh, the high price homes are on Trulia, the lower price homes are on this from this wholesaler, and so forth. Okay, I'm going to go back to design view. Now let's say you wanted to get the average of the list price by subdivision. In this case, the subdivision name is over here in the subdivision table. That's why I chose it initially. I can pull that down. I don't need this name of listing anymore. So to delete a field down here, it's a little tricky. You have to move your cursor just above the name of the field in the grid till you get that dark down arrow. Click it, and you can hit the delete button on your keyboard. It's gone. Now I'm going to get an average of the list price by group by subdivision. Well, this might make a little sense too. People looking for a home to buy might say, okay, this is a pretty nice neighborhood. The home's the average price is getting up there. You know, the Pines is $273. The Wood subdivision, $450. So that's a pretty high price neighborhood. The cheap homes are in North Point and so forth. So this could be some useful information for someone looking to buy homes in certain neighborhoods to get an idea what the average list price would be. Okay, so that's called a totals query, a pretty simple one. And again, you get it by clicking on this totals button here, and you get this totals row to show up in the grid. Alright, that's the end of this chapter. Remember to do the hands-on exercises, all three sections in that chapter, to fully understand these different functions and features of query in Microsoft Access.